Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of the Jacks of All Fandoms. I am the Average Joe, and I'm joined by my good friend Nick by Night.
Hello.
It is currently 90 degrees where we live, and we are both very hot and tired at this point, so we're gonna do this and have fun, hopefully.
And it's actually kind of ironic that you mentioned the heat, because, why not explain the plot of today's episode?
Okay, so, in Marvel Comics, there's this guy named Ghost Rider, who is a fallen angel, corrupted by the devil, who wanders the earth, punishes people, and forces them to endure hellfire.
All while riding an awesome motorcycle.
They made a movie about him with Nicolas Cage.
Yes. The Cage Man who... I was about to say that. I will always love that scene where... I think Nostalgia Critic actually makes that joke, where it's him with a martini glass full of jelly beans watching videos of monkeys doing kung fu. And I agree with his sentiment that Nicolas Cage probably put that in his contract, that this scene had to be in this movie. It's too random not to have been in a contract. Oh, I just love that scene so much.
You know, random thing, I kind of think it'd be hilarious if Ghost Rider was someday played by Owen Wilson.
That would be funny. Because he's already played a car, why not a motorcycle?
Oh, you're gonna burn for all eternity. Wow.
Wow. I think I just sent your soul to the fiery pits of Hades.
Wow. Oh, we're gonna have to go fight Dormammu. Wow.
And it is funny that you mention Owen Wilson, who played a Disney character, because this does, in fact, fit into our theme. The reason we mentioned Owen Wilson, who played a Disney character, and the Ghost Rider in the same sentence, is because we are, in fact, going to see which Disney villains will suffer the most at the stare of the Ghost Rider. The penance stare.
Yeah, so the penance stare is a thing where if he looks you in the eyes, he forces you to relive all the past suffering you have inflicted on other people. And apparently some Marvel writers got it in their head along the way that you can make your character even more cool by just having them resist it. So, you know, we're going to have to take a couple things into account that we're kind of doing under protest, but, you know, canon.
Some of them aren't terrible, like blind characters, for example. You have to physically look into the person's eyes in order for the penance stare to work. That makes sense.
All for One would be fine.
He's blind?
He's blind.
Oh, that's probably a spoiler. I'm not that far.
Well, not really. You can see the zoom up of his face a couple times, where you can see his mouth but not his eyes.
Oh, that's why. I thought that was a stylistic choice. I thought it was like Brock from the Pokemon anime. I didn't realize.
Nope.
Oh, that is blowing my mind right now. He's been blind this whole time.
And you don't always see his face because usually when he goes out and fights, he's in that helmet. You've seen, like, in the Cell Versus, that's what I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
So you've probably seen him in that, where he has the thing covering his head.
Yes. I didn't realize he was blind.
Well, maybe if you went past the sports festival,
I'm trying! I know! I keep getting told by people that I need to watch all this stuff. It is on my back burner. I promise I will get to it eventually. I promise I will get to it eventually. I completely lost the plot. We were talking about Disney characters getting hit by the penance stare, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. This is kind of a running thing with us. We never quite stay on topic.
That's fine. All right, we were talking about the limitations of the penance stare, how blind people aren't affected. So we got to go to the other criteria.
Let me see. I know I have a list in here somewhere. Okay, here's a list of reasons. I stole this from a Reddit post. I'm going to link it in the description. Here's a list of reasons you can avoid the penance stare in Marvel Comics. You're tired of being punished. You're too crazy. You enjoy suffering. You don't regret your crimes. You're only following orders. You've sinned too much. You're partially alien. You just don't feel like it. You can run away really fast. You get stronger from being reminded of evil things you've done. You regularly think about the stuff you did. And you have too many eyes for him to stare into.
Wow, it's almost like some of those specific requirements are directed towards a specific character. I wonder why. Not a character we are familiar with at all. Of course, the editor is going to probably slowly be bringing up a picture of said character, which we are not going to mention.
Well, to be fair, a lot of these were brought in even before that.
That is true. Some of them were actually brought in before this. And some of them I do agree with. Although, if we do the alien part, like, pretty much all of 90s Ghost Rider goes out the window, because I'm pretty sure he fought a bunch of aliens.
Yeah. And also, the thing about the Punisher, where he just kept fighting anyway, he's like, so what, I'm not sorry.
I was about to say, they actually do clarify that more, and I forget what the exact comic was, but they do specifically clarify it wasn't that he doesn't feel remorse, it's that he technically never ever killed anybody who didn't deserve it. He only killed bad people. Okay,
that's kind of fair.
Like, I was about to say, because, like, that was, like, the initial, like, oh, is that why? But no, like, they actually do clarify it later. I can't for the life of me remember which comic, but it did fully explain that the reason that the penance stare does not work on the Punisher specifically is he has never killed anybody who didn't deserve it.
I guess there's the other thing we can kind of count. I don't know if it's actually canon, but I remember being told that there was a Deadpool comic where Ghost Rider looked at him and just got confused because he was like, wait, does this guy even deserve this? Because this isn't entirely his fault that he's this way.
Yeah, because, like, he kind of saw the writers. Like, he kind of got his fourth wall. And actually, this happened more than once. And my favorite comic is one of the other times he used the pen and stare on him. And Deadpool literally just thought it was the highlight reel of all the cool stuff he's done over the years.
That's pretty funny. I'll give you that.
Well, because, like, I guess that would be, like, the too mentally fractured bit.
Yeah, I
like,
guess.
I was about to say, like, if they don't have a concept of right and wrong, which is why they actually, like, for trials, if you can be legally insane and thus not culpable for your actions, I think that's the kind of idea they were going for there.
That's kind of fair, I guess. Okay, so we have, what, I think 20 characters we're going to get through?
Yeah, I know, we're going through quite a few of them. So this is going to be a lot of fun.
Alright, so our first person that we're going to talk about today is the first Disney villain ever created, Pegleg Pete.
Oh, good old Steamboat Willie.
Well, he was there before that, because he was made for Oswald.
Oh, that's right! I forgot.
First he was a bear, then he became a cat, and then he was a dog, and then he became a cat again.
He doesn't really have a consistent animal, does he? Is he a shapeshifter? Oh, this is going to be a new rabbit hole, like for a future podcast.
A rabbit hole, because he was made to fight the rabbit.
Yes, I didn't even do that intentionally, but I'm gonna pretend I did. Okay, so, like, what version of Pete do you think we're doing? Like, the classic cartoon Pete?
I mean, we can kind of just give, like, a general overview.
Yeah, I mean, he's literally created to be the generic antagonist. Whether it's Oswald or Mickey, whether it's the House of Mouse, or even Kingdom Hearts, which I'd have no stake in. I've never played the games. I don't know what he's like in that. From
what I've gathered just by watching a couple cutscenes, he's kind of incompetent. Well, I don't want to say he's incompetent, but he's not really a villain. And so I don't really know how well he'd do against the penance stare, because he really doesn't do much.
Yeah, because from what I've seen, he just is kind of like Maleficent's lackey. He just kind of follows her around. Mm-hmm. We might get to her later, wink wink. But yeah, I mean, a bully is... I mean, yeah, you're bullying people. So, I mean, I guess it's like emotional torment that he would deliver on him. Just kind of make him feel bad. I don't think his sins are so numerous that would destroy his soul like it would, like, really evil people that Ghost Rider looks into. Mm-hmm. I think it would just make him, like, maybe rethink his life choices.
That's fair. Like, I don't know. What is the worst thing he's really ever done?
If you count the Three Musketeers movie, he did try to drown Mickey and take over a kingdom by kidnapping the princess, because that would magically make him... I don't remember if he put her in a death trap or something, or just tried to... I think he did try to do away with her. So that is a few counts of attempted murder. So I guess... I don't know how it, like, I guess, the physical suffering of, like, almost drowning, or, like, I think he put her in, like, a trunk or something and tied her up. So
you might feel a bit claustrophobic under the stair.
And, like, maybe feel like... Because Mickey did almost drown. He was just literally saved at the last second, so he probably would feel that drowning sensation if we're going by that logic.
Yeah, so he'd feel, like, the water in his lungs, the lack of oxygen, and Okay, now that Three Musketeers is in my head, I'm just thinking of the opera joke. The opera, it's tomorrow night.
Opera's tomorrow night.
The little ditty's starting to grow on me.
I know, because it's a running gag that it keeps going whenever he says opera's tomorrow night, and it cuts to that poster of Pirates of Penzance, which, fun fact, is not an opera.
Yeah.
I had the DVD growing up, and there was this side feature where you had the different singers for opera, and like it was, opera tunes that are in the public domain, but like they changed the lyrics, and it was just like jokey kid stuff, like the Carmen opera. My underwear is entirely too tight, da 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 da. And one of them was like, I put cheese on everything, and the other one was like, I hate homework. I don't remember the full thing, because it was, you only had the choice of like 3 singers and like 3 different opera backgrounds, and I vividly remember this bonus feature on that, because I like the underwear is too tight song. I just remember that as a kid, and I thought that was the funniest thing ever. And, growing up, I can see that that's really childish and dumb, but it's still a happy memory.
And that's why Pete is not affected by the pen and stare.
Unless we're taking Three Musketeers into account, then
he gets like mild aggravation. He feels maybe the sense of drowning, which I guess we're going to talk about with another Disney villain coming up later in the list. Wink, wink.
Indeed, indeed. And claustrophobia from blocking Minnie in a trunk, I think. All right, next one. The true first baddie in a Disney full-length movie, because Pete technically was in cartoons before this. Mm-hmm. The full feature-length antagonist, the Evil Queen.
I know she has a name. I didn't want to try to pronounce it, so just... The Evil Queen.
I was about to say, do they ever even say her name in the movie? I don't recall.
I don't think so.
No, I don't either. It's like some German name, as I recall. Mm-hmm. Because, it's a German fairy tale.
I know it starts with a G.
Like, what fairy tale that in this list hasn't come from Germany?
Aladdin.
That is fair. That's 101
Actually,
Arabian
there
Nights.
are a couple.
Oh, yeah, never mind. Yeah, Greek mythology. I retract my statement.
Well, also, Peter Pan was British.
Peter Pan was British, yeah. Oh, Europe. So, all right. So, the Evil Queen. Are we just going by implied stuff, or are we doing like just her straight up actions throughout the movie?
Yes.
So, I'm pretty sure she killed the hunter, right? I think it's implied that she killed him.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably done a bunch of horrendous war crimes when she was sovereign, because, the king died under mysterious circumstances, as I recall. Possibly killed him.
They do explore that in Once Upon a Time.
I have not seen Once Upon a Time. I know you've talked its praises to me, especially Rumpelstiltskin.
Well, Rumpelstiltskin is one of the highlights. The show does have some flaws, but I respect both the Evil Queen and Rumpelstiltskin as characters.
Yeah, I heard that they develop a lot throughout the show.
Yeah, her name is Regina, and it's kind of a light thing that doesn't quite affect the greater plot. It's just something in her origin story, so I feel okay to talk about it. The original story, as it goes, is that the king was this nice, chill dude who one day found a genie. Not the Robin Williams genie.
I didn't think so.
Aladdin is a whole other universe.
Oh, so they do... Oh, they're alternate universes in Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, kind of. They have, like, these parallel dimensions where different stories happened.
Okay, so it's not like Fables, where it's all one shared thing. Okay. Mm-hmm. I was wondering if it was like the DC Comics thing, Fables, where it's all shared, but it isn't. Okay, that's interesting.
Okay, so this king he really had nothing to wish for, so he freed the genie on the first go, and the genie's like, well, you still technically have a second wish. Like, oh, okay, I wish that my third wish would be given to you. So the genie goes back with him, falls in love with Regina. She comes up with this plot so that they can be together, and she gives him this poisonous snake, tells him to...
She's already married to the king, right?
Yes.
Okay.
She's married to the king. I'm pretty sure she's the stepwife. She's the stepmother in this...
Which that is how it is in the original Snow White as well, as I recall.
In fact, they do talk a little bit about Snow White's mother and talk about maybe she wasn't the best person.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting angle.
Yeah, so she gives him the snake. She tells him to use it to bite the king and poison him and kill him. And he kind of has this sad goodbye with the king. He's like, I'm sorry to do this. You've been such a great guy. But, I also love your wife. Basically. And then when he goes back and tells her that he did it, and a little time passes, and then she goes up to him and tells him, So that snake came from the same country that you came from, so the guards think that you did it, so you need to run. And she thinks this is the end. She walks away. He's like, so why did you choose that specific snake then, I wonder? And it's revealed, yeah, she planned all this to frame him so that her hands would be clean. And she never really loved him, but he's still partially in love with her. So he finally uses his third wish.
I was about to say, this had to come into play.
So he uses his third wish to wish that he would be by her side and look at her beautiful face every day. And the magic takes effects and turns him into the magic mirror.
The mirror! Ah!
It all comes around.
Okay. So, yeah. All right. So, definitely, probably horrific war crimes, we're going to say.
Definitely.
As sovereign ruler of whatever country this is. Implied murder of the king. And definitely treating Snow White, emotionally abusing her, like making her, wear rags and such because she doesn't want to be, her to become prettier than her. Mm-hmm. So vanity, I guess we're not doing like 7 deadly sins, but I guess pride and vanity would probably fit in there. Definitely the attempted murder of Snow White with the apple. And the attempted murder of all 7 dwarves with the boulder. But then, along came Zeus, he hurled his thunderbolt! I had to throw that in there. I'm sorry, I did steal this from a stupid joke I saw online, but
I've seen those compilations.
I was about to say where it's just the along came Zeus thunderbolt thing. But, well, that is how she dies, so it's not like... Okay, so definitely has probably... definitely a few attempted murders, like at least 8 attempted murders, and a few implied murders on her conscience, plus whatever horrible war crime she committed as sovereign ruler. So do you think her soul would be completely destroyed from this one? Do you think she's evil enough for that?
Honestly, no. She's not, like, going out and committing mass genocide or anything.
That we know of.
So based on what we know of who she is and her actions, she mostly just sits in her castle and minds her own business. Except when somebody is possibly challenging that they're prettier than her. I don't know how Ghost Rider could punish vanity.
She could probably punish the attempted murder. There's at least 8 counts of attempted murder.
And also if she did kill the huntsman, just feel the pain of presumably getting stabbed.
That is true. It is heavily implied she killed him, so...
Yeah.
So yeah, the horrid pain of snuffing out the life, and the attempted murder of all 8, probably. Definitely Snow White blacking out, and like... the pain she felt in the in whatever state she was in while she was in suspended animation or whatever it was, and definitely the because I think a few of the dwarves got hurt, as I recall, because like a few rocks came down. Yeah. I'm assuming they got hurt,
presumably,
when she tried to pull the big boulder on him. So yeah, that's definitely the pain from that. Probably the sharp stabbing pain, and definitely. So yeah, her soul wouldn't be destroyed, but she definitely would hurt from the penance stare.
Are we good with Evil Queen then?
I think we're good with Evil Queen.
Alright. Next up, Lady Tremaine.
This is another emotional abuse case.
True.
And this is pretty much entirely emotional abuse. So, I guess she would just feel the emotional pain, which would, I doubt, swear.
True.
Especially if we're dealing with the cartoon version of Lady Tremaine. Like, that woman has ice in her veins. She does not care.
For the most part, I feel like we're not going to be talking about remakes or other variations of these stories, but I kind of wonder how it would affect the Lady Tremaine from the remake or the Ever After version.
That is true, because I haven't seen the live-action movie, but I've seen Nostalgia Critic's comparison of the cartoon versus the live-action remake. So I do know the key points where they actually delve into her backstory a little more, and they try to make her a little more sympathetic. Mm-hmm. Because essentially, the father kind of said in confidence, not realizing she was listening to Cinderella, that he technically would probably always love his first wife more, and she just kind of felt hurt by that. Mm-hmm. So like they make her a little more sympathetic. But again, if we want to do like evil punishing sin, we're probably going to go with the cartoon. Yeah. Because
what's her name? I don't remember her name in the Ever After version, but I really. One, she's played by Morticia, so she's a lot of fun. Two, she does have a couple of despicable actions in the film.
You've told me about Ever After. I've never seen it myself, but
Well, there's the scene after Cinderella snaps at her. Like, before that, she had promised her, yeah, you can go to the ball, and then Cinderella comes back into her room at one point later, and she sees them taking her mother's dress and shoes. Like, whoa, do you think with a son like that you'd be able to go? And Cinderella takes the shoes, punches the stepsister, runs off, but the stepsister grabs the book that her dad gave her as a child, and runs down to the furnace, holds it over it, and the stepmother is like, you have to make a choice, dear. Your mother's shoes or your father's books, though neither will save you from a sound lashing.
Oh.
And she ends up putting the shoes down, but the sister throws the book into the fire anyway.
Of
and the
course.
stepmother grabs her, makes her watch the whole thing burn, and then the next scene is immediately the other stepsister cleaning the wounds of Cinderella.
Okay, so I'm assuming one of the sisters is a little nicer than the other one in this version.
Mm-hmm. She even shared a little laugh with Cinderella while the wounds are being dressed. Like, yeah, this sister kind of deserved that. I don't think I'm ever gonna erase the image from my brain of watching her tumbled over the bedside when you punched her.
Yeah, and they honestly do that, as I recall. I've never actually seen any of the Cinderella sequels all the way through. I did see the third one. That's a lie. I saw
Twist in Time.
I saw the third one.
I do remember that.
But I do know the redhead was actually the more sympathetic of the two in both movies, as I recall. Because there was actually this really good scene I remember with her and the king, because Lady Tremaine used the wand to go back in time. And I guess we could include that sin. I mean,
messing with the affairs of time and space.
I was about to say, that seems like a cosmic level sin, so I'm pretty sure that would probably affect... So, okay, maybe it's not all emotional stuff with her.
Ooh, by that logic, Marty McFly would also falter under the pen and stare.
That is true, because I think laws against time and space fall under that category. So... Yeah, I think that probably would be included. So, yeah, that probably would be a much harsher punishment. That might actually destroy her soul. Because it's a crime against reality. So, she might be the first one who actually gets her soul destroyed.
Oof. She's the one you'd never suspect, but, yeah, that's a good point.
Because I didn't even think about that. I didn't think we were going to put the sequels into consideration, and I'm like, oh yeah, she literally changes the fabric of reality to fit her own whim. Yeah, that's a pretty cosmic level threat.
Didn't she trap Cinderella in the creepy thorn-covered one and try to drive her off a cliff?
Oh yeah, she did try to kill her. That is another attempted murder. And that was actually a really cool scene. Lucifer the cat. Her cat's name is Lucifer. Lucifer the cat. Yeah, turned into the creepy coachman. And actually, I love his design as a human. It's perfectly terrifying. Plus, it has the best joke in anything that has been memed to death at this point, where the dad is blocking Prince Charming's way, and he said, "You will not take another step for down these stairs. I forbid it." And he's just like, "Okay," and he jumps out the window.
That's another thing I do like in Ever After, too, the relationship between the dad and the son. In the first scene we have with the son, he runs away from the palace, outruns the guards, and does his own thing. And the reason they discover this is because the father is running up to his bedroom. He's like, "If I can't sleep tonight, neither will he." And there's a later scene when they're arguing about whether he'll marry whether the prince will marry the foreign woman. And he's like, "I swear if you do not do as I command you..." "What? What will you do, father?" "I will disown you and live forever." "Good. Then do it."
Okay, we can get this part out, but should I just open the window? You think that would help?
I don't know if it would make it better or worse, honestly, because the air outside is just as hot.
Fair enough.
How about, every half hour to 40 minutes we pause the recording and let the fan run?
That's true. That's a fair point. And then we're coming up on that point anyway.
I mean, we can leave that in, honestly. I don't... we already established it's almost 90 degrees.
Yeah. Alright, let's turn this thing on and get the lower setting.
We'll just leave it on for a few minutes. I hope you can forgive us, audience.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's pretty hot in here. Alright, so yeah, I think... Again, Lady Tremaine might be the first candidate that gets her soul completely destroyed because of the messing with time and space in itself. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, alright, let's move on to our next candidate then.
Maleficent.
The Mistress of Evil, not the Angelina Jolie version. Actually, it's hilarious because I saw this video of one of the performers at Disneyland. Remember when we could go out and do stuff? That was fun. The person dressed as Maleficent at Disneyland, I forget who it was. Some girl actually had like a Angelina Jolie notebook for the Maleficent, and then she looks at it and says, "Ah, the Pretender." I love the actors at Disney World, like the live face actors, because like seriously, props to them. They probably only get paid slightly above Florida minimum wage for that job, and they have to like be on point with their improv game. So like full kudos to anybody who is the full face character.
Have you ever seen Swoozy's thing about being a former Disney employee?
I don't think. I might have. I think I know what you're talking about.
I remember he mentioned there were like the two kinds of people with the costumes. The ones who showed up, they were polite, they did their job. He was great working with them. But then there were the ones who thought that they were the Disney character and went overboard.
Ew.
Like you'd have somebody dressed up as Aladdin run up to a child, smack the drink out of their hand. Hey, kid, I just stole this loaf of bread because I'm poor. And guess what? You're poor too. Oh, hey, look, there's guards coming. We gotta run. Here, let's sing the song while we run. Gotta keep one jump. Come on, kids, sing along.
I was about to say, I probably would freak out if I was a child. I didn't really have I didn't like the costume characters back then. But yeah, I obviously as an adult, I grew the more of an appreciation for them and what they do. Going forward. All right, the Mistress of All Evil herself, and self-professed. So,
I love her in that movie. She's wildly likable and charismatic, in my opinion.
Oh, in the Angelina Jolie one?
No.
I was about to say.
No.
I thought, okay,
Sleeping
good.
Beauty.
Got Reginald Sleeping Beauty, exactly. I was about to say. I was worried for a second.
I do have a quick story about that, by the way. I was talking about... So, back in my art class at college, I was talking about the Maleficent remake to my friend, and I was explaining to him the thing that was brought up by Nostalgia Critic. We're going to reference him a lot, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
But there was a thing that he brought up that the reason people liked the original why Maleficent doesn't work compared to Wicked is because Wicked, the original character, was a thug and had no personality. So so it was interesting when they made her charismatic and complex. And I said it to my friend out loud. The original Maleficent was already kind of charismatic and complex.
She
when
was.
My teacher was walking by. She didn't say anything to us, but she went. I'm assuming she disagreed with me.
Oh, okay. She
was a chill person. I mean, she was kind of annoyed with people kind of messing around and not doing the assignments. But
I mean, that's understandable.
Yeah, outside of class. We once sat down and had a conversation about how funny Phineas and Ferb is.
Oh, that's good. I love Phineas and Ferb. But
I'm pretty sure I put Heinz Doofenshmirtz as the top on my list of ranking Disney villains.
yeah, I believe you've mentioned... Oh, yeah, I believe I've seen that video.
Promotional material! Go watch my Disney villain video.
And watch all the other Jacks of All Fandom podcasts. Links in the description, or not, possibly. It depends on what we do.
I've noticed we've had a jump in views recently, so we're kind of going up.
Perfect!
We're growing!
Shameless self-promotion!
Woohoo!
Yeah! Alright, so we gotta view the deeds of the original Mistress of All Evil, Maleficent.
I think it's kind of implied that she didn't really do much before the movie took place, because she, as much as she professes to be a terrible person, she shows up at the party. She's like, "Hey, why wasn't I invited?" "Well, you weren't wanted." "I wasn't wanted." "Oh, I see. And it's war then."
Your child will die.
So, like, up until that point, presumably she was just chilling in her own tower, thinking of things to do.
Definitely abusing her staff, because let's face it, we've seen evidence of that throughout the movie.
But can we really credit her for that? Because they are a disgrace to the forces of evil.
They are pretty useless. But still, it counts for the sins, because, she definitely is shooting fire at them.
But they deserved it. Like the Punisher.
Okay, I was about to say...
Technicalities.
Ah, dang it, you're using the Punisher logic, because they were evil. But
Punisher says this does not count. Technicalities.
Ah, dang it. Frank, you're ruining our...
Thanks, Frank. Now Maleficent won't get punished.
I was about to say, because really what does she do besides attempted murder of the prince later?
Yeah, I think...
Oh, attempted murder of, no, she did fully intend to kill to kill Aurora, but it was only the third wish from the three fairies that actually prevented the death, because she was planning on dying. Instead, they changed the curse to a deep sleep. So she wasn't fully intending on murdering somebody.
And she did try to kill the prince. I guess you could kind of count that she... Wait, I forget. Was she responsible for putting the rest of the kingdom to sleep, or was that someone else?
I think that was part of the curse, yes. Because how powerful the curse was, the fairies couldn't undo it. It's just that, I guess that was their way of changing what the curse did, but, because the magic was so powerful, it affected everybody.
Okay. So we can't really credit that for Maleficent. I suppose you could say that because she grew all the thorn bushes around the castle, anybody who got scratched by the vines and got thorns stuck in them, you could feel that mild irritation of being scratched.
That is true. Or, some of them were probably deep enough to draw blood, so that probably would cause some pain.
And she'd probably also feel the pain in her finger from Aurora pricking
her finger, yes. And I'd say probably the fires of hell, as she puts it, when she shoots the dragon fire at the prince, because I'm pretty sure he does get singed a bit. So, she definitely would feel the fires of hell, which is actually already what she would feel, because it's the penance stare.
So, would this destroy her soul? I don't think so.
No, I was about to say, believe it or not, even though she is the mistress of all evil, she doesn't have anything that's really punishable in the eyes of the penance stare. No pun intended.
The thought occurs to me, would we partially be doing biblical law by this? Because the idea is that Zarathos the angel is using the idea of what God considers a sin for his judgment. So that's traditionally Catholic.
Oh, we could include pride and vanity then.
So, yeah, Evil Queen and Lady Tremaine just got worse, I guess.
I was about to say, so probably worse emotional pain, or probably just burning sensation. I'd say, the hellfire is more intense.
Yeah.
So we just gonna do that going forward. She does have a little bit of vanity as well, Maleficent.
I think all of them can be marked with pride and vanity to some extent.
Most of them, yes. So I think, are we good on the Mistress of All Evil?
I think so.
Alright, and now one that I don't know how this is gonna work. Yeah. The man from Bald Mountain, Fantasia, the best part of Fantasia.
The only good part of Fantasia, apart from maybe the broom scene.
The broom scene is also really good. Chernabog himself.
A.K.A. Satan.
Yeah, I was about to say Satan in everything but name.
Well, that was the intention from Walt, too.
Oh,
they
definitely.
Sing Ave Maria after they kill him.
Exactly. So, I have no idea if the penance stare works on other demons. Because, let's face it, he had to have tried this on Mephisto, who is essentially Marvel's devil. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it would work on him.
Let me Google this real quick. Keep talking, I'm just...
I was about to say, literally all I can think of. Oh, how about I talk about the fact that they teased Mephisto twice in the Disney Plus shows, once with the first episode of Loki, and then once multiple times in WandaVision, and we still haven't gotten him. I'm still salty about that. Mephisto needs to be in the MCU. He's probably going to be one of the major players. Now that Thanos is dead and Dormammu is barred from coming to this reality again, that seems like a perfect thing for Mephisto to come in. He probably should have been taking advantage of this long before now. I don't know why he hasn't.
Alright, this answer is from Cora, so I don't know if it's going to be completely accurate. Theoretical, there are only 2 or 3 things required for the penance stare to function. Well, we know that's wrong. Blah, 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 blah. For example, though probably not the best one, Blackheart in the first Ghost Rider movie. He is a full-bred demon and has both the eyes and sin throughout the film. Early on, he shrugs off the penance stare because he lacks a soul.
Oh, Mephisto wouldn't have a soul!
At the climax of the movie, he lays claim to a great deal of souls and renders himself vulnerable.
Right.
Okay, so theoretically, Chernabog is the ruler of hell, so he has all those souls in his possession. So,
that is true, but is it in his physical body, and could it hurt him?
So probably not then.
I was about to say.
He's resurrecting them, playing around with them, just watching them like dolls.
Exactly, they're not within him, he's just tormenting them. So that means that and actually this is another limitation of the penance stare that I actually fully agree with, because the whole point of it is it destroys your soul. So if you don't have a soul, you can't actually be affected by it. So I think this is the first one who is going to be completely immune, solely because he lacks a soul. I guess we can move on. That was a short one.
Yeah, easy enough. Alright, next one on the list, and I don't know if this is really correct in the timeline-wise, but I just looked up a list, and this was what I got. Captain Hook.
Smee! Unfortunately, that's the best I can do. I can't really do any better. I can do Smee better, but I can't really do Captain Hook, unfortunately.
That sounds like Droopy, too, actually.
Yeah, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the same. Is it the same voice actor? No, well, I don't think so.
I have no idea.
Okay.
All right.
My crappy impressions aside, Captain Hook. We are probably going by the actual movie and not Jake and the Neverland Pirates, where he's a buffoon.
I've never seen an episode of Jake and the Neverland Pirates.
My little cousin loved it. I did not.
I've seen the meme online with a picture from the promotional material where they're like, a good pirate never takes another person's property. I don't think Disney knows what a pirate is.
No, I don't think they do. But no, we are definitely going by the first Peter Pan, and of course its sequel. Because in the first movie, literally we're introduced by Captain Hook. He shoots a dude off screen, doesn't even look at him. Like, murder with a flintlock pistol, and then immediate, probably eating of the body by the crocodile, let's face it.
Yep.
The crocodile is already in the water at that point, so the crocodile probably ate the pirate that fell in. So, yes, definitely he's a schemer. He's, he goes back on his, let's see, technically, he finds loopholes, is what I'm gonna say. He doesn't go back on his word, he finds loopholes. That actually happens in both movies, because I remember in the first one, he said, he promised to Tinkerbell if she, told him where their hideout was, that he would not lay a hand, and then she, tinkle, 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 or a hook on Peter Pan. So then he's just like, I always keep my promise, because remember, he lured the bomb in there, so technically he kept his word. So, I guess it would be kind of like a Lucifer type, where he doesn't go back on his word, but there's always, the monkey's paw catch to it.
Well, there's also the emotional manipulation of people, like Tinkerbell and Jane.
Indeed. And you would like to go the second example of his trickery.
Yes, I do. That's the only thing I remember from that movie, aside from the octopus. Just that scene with Captain Hook and Jane, I think, is really funny. He promises to her, and he even has her sign a contract on it, that if she helps him recover the treasure that the Lost Boys have, he will not harm a single hair on Peter Pan's head. So when he grabs him and captures him, she's like, wait, you promised! He said, I promised I would never harm a hair on his head. And he plucks a hair off of Peter's scalp. I will not harm this hair. You may have it if you want. The rest of him's mine!
Oh, I guess we could add greed with the treasure.
Oh, definitely. By nature, pirates are going to be punished for greed.
Yes, definitely. So, I'd say crushed under the weight of all of his treasure, his soul probably would be. Definitely the, I'd say definitely probably the mauling of the body. Who knows if he died from the flintlock wound. He definitely fell in. So, and we know the crocodile was in the water, so he probably thought it was a free meal.
Did Smee take his hat off immediately after?
Yeah.
That's to show that he's dead, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming, there's no way he's... Well, what I'm saying is, we know he was going to die regardless, because he was shot and fell into the water. So... Oh, he kills the other guy! Remember at the very end, because he tries to kill Wendy, and then Peter catches her at the end, and then they were like, no splash! No splash! And then he's just like, I'll give you a splash! And he throws the one guy overboard. So he kills another guy, and then he drowns.
So we have...
Two murders, so that's 2 confirmed murders.
And they relive the pain, right? So
yes.
He'd feel the bullet wound in his chest, and he'd feel the sensation of drowning. And
if he was still alive when he hit the water, possibly the ripping apart of the crocodile.
Yeah!
So, I don't know, this one might kill him. He might die from this. Because, I think again, it's goes by human convention, so if he feels enough pain, because he caused enough pain to other people, he would probably not be able to, his heart probably wouldn't be able to take it. So, in theory, this could kill him. We could have another death from this on our hands.
Unless, of course, we go by the idea that that your body does... Oh, wait, that wouldn't work. The thing in Neverland, it doesn't guarantee that you're immortal. It just stops you from aging.
Yes, it only stops you from aging.
So he's stuck in the body of like a 50-year-old man. Nobody knows how long he's really been here. So theoretically, he could still die.
Theoretically, I mean, I was about to say, like, I just think, yeah, you can't die of old age. I think you theoretically can be killed, because obviously that pirate is dead.
Yeah.
I guess that's a topic for another video, but how did they all get there?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Actually, there is something that I kind of want to mention, that another thing I do vividly remember from the sequel, and that's the kidnapping of Jane from the real world, because remember, he pixie dusted the pirate ship so it flies. And there is actually a scene, because remember, this takes place during World War II, where he flies by a bunch of German planes. So I can only imagine them going back to their commanding officer and be like, Sire, we have a situation in the air. Yes? There appears to be a British ship in the air. A British airship! No, not an airship. You're talking about a sailing ship. Yes!
In the sky.
Yes! Okay, John Corder.
What did I tell you about drinking while on the air?
I know, they just have him drawn and quartered.
You Dummkopf.
I don't know why, just that, the idea of that is really funny to me.
See, Nazis can be funny if you write them right.
Yeah, Nazis can be funny if you're horribly maiming them. Alright, let's go to the next, and one of my personal favorites.
Yeah, we're gonna skip over like 3 decades of Disney.
Let's face it, because they haven't had strong contenders for the pen and stare in that time.
I don't think Edgar is gonna be affected all that much.
Yeah, I mean, he just tried to... I guess he did try to kill him. No, he mostly just tried to get rid of them. He didn't really try to actively kill them in
dropped the basket in
Aristocats.
the river and let it float away, and then he put them in a box and tried to ship them to some other continent.
I was about to say maybe claustrophobia. Mild claustrophobia. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so we got a bonus Edgar in there for you from Aristocats. Okay. Ratigan. The world's greatest criminal mind.
Now, he's the first one I feel like... Yeah, he might be the first. He might be the first one. Just objectively, we can just say he is destroyed. He is gone.
Oh, absolutely. And would you like to? Okay. Let's sing the lyric at the same time. 1, 2, 3.
Even
worse than the widows and orphans you drowned. And he does directly kill one of his henchmen. Technically, oh man, he'd feel the cat chewing him up. Oh my goodness.
And you know something else? Something that I have always thought of, even when I was a kid watching the movie. The opening scene we have with Basil is him putting a bullet into the pillow and comparing it to the other round.
Oh, that means he shot somebody!
Yeah, and he says this is directly tied to my case with Ratigan, trying to prove a murder he conducted.
Okay, so he definitely feels the drowning of dozens, at the very least, dozens of widows and orphans. Definitely the bullets getting shot, and probably multiple people. The scratches he gives Basil in one of the coolest end fights of any Disney movie, literally on the face of Big Ben. And I think they said this is when they started integrating CGI, and like that they did that for the inner mechanisms of the clock, and that actually like really holds up today, surprisingly.
I do really like that scene where he snaps.
Oh yeah, and like his clothes get ripped in the cogs. He doesn't care. He's a full-on monster rat now.
Still one of the best Moriartys on screen.
I know, and again, I told you this before, but Vincent Price has put it on the record saying that that is his favorite role he's ever done.
As it should be. He should be proud of that.
I know, it's such a good role. I love Ratigan so much. Like, just the subtleties of his animation. Remember when he tries to... he puts the bat, dresses up in Penny, and puts it in the bottle, thinking Basil saved her. And then he's, laughing at him. And then I think Basil calls him a sewer rat, and he was just like, "Oh, you're right on time, Basil." And he's just like, "You're nothing but a wretched sewer rat." And then he's still smiling, and he just closes the pocket watch, and like his eye kind of twitches. And then he just goes back to the... that is just like one of my favorite bits of subtle animation in Disney.
Random question, how much worse do you think the pain would be for him if that whole death trap for Basil and the Doctor actually worked?
Oh, if it actually worked?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, snap, bang, and what was the other thing?
Crushed by an anvil.
Anvil. Snap, bang, crush. And that wasn't even a mouse gun, that was a human gun. That he was shooting them with. That would destroy them.
And also, like, the lingering dread, because there's, like, the 3 minutes when the song is playing.
Oh, that's right. The
So
lingering
all that
dread would also
anxiety.
be fun. Oh, yeah, plus vanity, greed, wrath. I'm trying to think of every sin that he's done. He's probably gotten all the 7 deadly sins in there. Except maybe sloth. Except sloth and... Nah, probably gluttony. He's huge. Never mind, he probably has gluttony in there. He's a big boy.
He's big chunky. He's a whole unit.
He's a bloody unit, mate! Oh, man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, again, Ratigan would be completely destroyed by the penance stare. Plus, he's very tiny, so I'm assuming the beams from the stare would probably, like, amass his body much quicker. Because, you know, he's not human size. I'm assuming he's a large rat, but maybe, like, 5 inches tall, maybe? I don't know.
I feel like it's... I don't know, but has Ghost Rider ever done a thing where, like, I don't want to use the penance stare because that'll destroy your soul completely, and you deserve to burn for this? Where he drags somebody down? That would be a really cool scene. I feel like he'd do it to Ratigan.
He probably would.
One look. Widows and orphans! You're going to the pits of hell.
Ratigan of London, your sins are numerous.
Numerous doesn't begin to describe you.
Well, numerous in other ways, too. He's a big boy.
Ratigan he's probably trying to keep his cool and play it off, and probably keep that ambiguously flirtatious.
Oh, Mr. Skullman, I don't believe that we've had the pleasure. Now I want this meeting to happen.
Oh, that would be an amazing thing if you could animate it right. He starts out very coy and charming, like, oh yeah.
And then, like, he, as he's being dragged to hell, he just, like, you know, rips the clothes again, and he's just like, trying to claw his way out desperately. Okay, let's go on to a different animal. As a matter of fact, let's go under the sea.
Ursula.
Great transition. Not really.
Not really.
No,
Well, she is kind of part octopus.
She is part octopus, so that is true. I get there was a deleted scene where she and Triton are siblings.
Yeah.
And
it is in some of the stage versions.
It is in some of the stage versions.
I remember she specifically in the school version, when I went to a local high school and watched it, and she specifically tells Ariel, come in, sit down, talk to Auntie Ursula, tell me everything.
Alright, so we're definitely going to be hundreds of victims turned into what I can assume are animated corpses. Like, tiny little things permanently etched to her cave wall, physically unable to move, living in constant agony and torment. And there is definitely a few hundred there. And she also eats fish. She also eats fish who are sentient in this universe.
Yeah, so probably the same thing as Ratigan, the sensation of being chewed up.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly digested, depending on how aware and conscious they were through the ordeal.
That is true. She also is a practitioner of the black arts, so I don't know if that would affect it in any way.
I wonder how many people died in that storm she whipped up at the end.
Oh, that is true. I'm assuming a lot of people drowned in that. Although, that is weird. How would somebody who lives underwater feel the sensation of drowning? Like, clearly, because, you know, your soul is going to feel all the pain you caused in there. And how would you feel if you live underwater, how would you feel the pain of hundreds of people drowning? If you breathe water. So how would that even work? And obviously, it's not like you can do her fish on land, because she walks around on land and she's fine. So I guess I guess mermaids are amphibious, so they can actually breathe on air and on underwater. So, yeah, I was about to say, that would be interesting how they figured out how to, like, simulate drowning, like, with the soul burn.
Well, I assume there's a few things you can do with it. You just, simulate the feeling of your lungs being slowly emptied of air.
Fair enough. And then, like, other, like, stuff that isn't air filling it up. Mm-hmm. And then, okay, so, yeah, and that, I'd say at least 50 people probably drowned that day. This is a conservative estimate, but still. Actually, no, I think Matt Bat actually calculated it, but I'm not going to bother looking it up right now, because we're just doing a thing. And, yeah, do you think that she's killed enough people? I know she's made enough people suffer. Like, there was definitely, like, 100 people at least lining her cave. So, she has definitely made a bunch of people suffer.
Random question. Just to answer this. If Ursula is the sister of Triton, then she would be the daughter of Poseidon. So she's at least part god.
Oh.
So if that's the case, would she have enough of a soul to affect in the first place?
I do think merfolk have souls. I think there is, definitely Triton and the merfolk, because she turns human, so she has to have a soul.
Mm-hmm. So
I'd say she's human enough where she has a soul. I'd say,
Okay.
because, if you think about it, it's, demigods have souls. So, like Hercules and such, which, we might get to his movie later. But, yeah, I'm definitely saying that I think the merfolk do have souls, so I think she has enough of a soul to work this. Plus, there's no explicit connection to the Greek gods in this version. He could just be named Triton. We don't know that he is the Triton of Greek myth.
fair. Oh wait, never mind. Sorry, that was another thing they added in that stage version that I watched, where she mentioned dear old Daddy gave us a couple gifts. Daddy Poseidon. He gave my brother the trident that allowed him control over the waves and currents, and he gave me this nice little seashell that granted me great power over the mystic arts.
Okay, but are we including the stage version?
I don't know. That's just something I thought was relevant to the conversation.
I was about to say, it is relevant to the conversation, and it does add things to it, but...
In fact, that's actually part of the thing in the stage versions that gets brought up is that they both have one half of Poseidon's power. In fact, that's in her reprise version of Poor Unfortunate Souls. Now the power of Poseidon has been once again made whole, all the magic of the trident and the shell in my control, and now dark shall reign forever. So, she's definitely got the power of a god, which, if we were discussing, ranking Disney villains by power, she'd be very high up on the list.
That is true, but we are just going by how much would they suffer if the penance stare thing. So, what I think is, and from my experience... Personally, I was in the musical version of Tarzan, and I think they change enough from the story to be considered a separate canon.
That's fair.
So I think the stage version would, in fact, be a separate canon.
There's a certain other character we're going to get to in a couple picks who's radically different on stage than he is in Broadway.
Oh, definitely.
Or in the musical.
A completely different character, so I think we are just going to focus on the movie versions.
And plus, I guess if we draw too much from the stage versions, we can also... briefly cover their Twisted counterpart, which has nothing to do with the original.
I was about to say, Twisted technically isn't even a Disney property.
I know, but
it's a good musical. I will not. It's probably one of my favorite musicals.
It's a musical that we can't talk about on this channel because it's not safe for work.
No, it isn't. But if you want to check it out yourself, it is free on YouTube. You've been warned.
But basically, if we talked about that, none of the Disney villains would be affected by the penance stare at all.
Yeah, except Cruella. Oh, did we? Oh, Cruella!
We didn't talk about Cruella.
We didn't talk about Cruella.
I am so sorry.
Oh my god. Okay, you know what? We're done with Ursula. We'll go to her.
Okay.
Okay. Cruella. So, I don't know. Do you think she has killed prior to this? I know she was definitely planning on killing all these puppies.
Okay, here's a tricky thing we have to discuss here. If killing animals counts as murder, then anyone who has hunted anything would be subject to the penance stare. But in this universe, dogs are sentient, and the animals have conscious awareness of what's going on.
And I honestly think that could be a logical thing, because the hunter hunts to provide for his family. Or his or her family. They kill the animal so they can provide meat for their table. So I think there's a justification. There's give and take for that.
Mm-hmm.
But killing for sport, killing for fashion, killing for cruelty, that is where you draw the line. Plus, you don't eat dogs. So...
That's fair. So that's animal cruelty, I guess.
Yeah, that's animal cruelty, so that definitely would count. Although, we don't know if she killed any dogs prior to this.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. Remember that line in the movie when they're like, "Oh, how do we kill him before we skin him? Burn them, bash them over the head. You got any chloroform? I don't care how you do it. Just do it tonight." She's definitely got experience.
I was about to say I was about to say the fact that she has this many methods, she probably has done something like this before. So a few
Definitely a few murders.
A few counts of animal cruelty, definitely.
Assuming she's done this before to other things, like, she could feel all of those at once.
Oh, that is true. If every single coat and fur she has is from something she has killed personally.
So she gets the sensation of being drowned, bashed over the head,
poisoned,
and suffocated with chloroform.
Oh yeah, that might actually kill her. Yeah, she might be another one that actually dies from this.
And her actual role in this universe is very minuscule compared to a lot of the other Disney villains, but the ones we're getting who die are not the ones I was expecting.
I know! I wasn't expecting Lady Tremaine or anything to die from this, but I completely forgot about the sequel!
Lady Tremaine, Captain Hook, and Ratigan, possibly Ursula, those are the 4 I think we have for death so far.
Mm-hmm. Because of just, like, the drowning and the, I forget, what else did we do for Captain Hook? Like, I forget.
Drowning, shooting...
Oh yeah, the crocodile possibly eating him alive. Mm-hmm. Because he could have been alive when he hit the water. So yeah, that might actually have killed him, or at least severely wounded Captain Hook and, like, put him out of commission forever. Or, like, at the very least, put him out of commission forever and not necessarily kill. But
presumably he may have killed a couple Native Americans along the way.
Oh yeah, that too. I was about to say Ursula definitely dies too, because, like, all the people that have drowned, all the suffering, all of the... Does the penance
stare count for racism? Because, like, you know, he refers to them as those redskins.
I was about to say, it is hatred in your heart, but I guess it's like emotional pain.
Yeah, okay.
So, like, it does do emotional pain, so, like, the negativity of racism and the stigma of that probably would affect him. So yeah, like, just on an emotional level. But I think that pales in comparison to the shooting, the drowning.
That's like the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Oh, it's just that's the thing that finally puts him over the edge of the emotional pain.
He starts feeling this pain. He starts feeling the pain. My chest. I can't breathe.
Wow, I was really racist to those people. I feel really bad about that. Okay, and now from one prima donna, Cruella Deville, to another prima donna.
Gaston?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's face it.
Okay, I guess you're not technically wrong.
Let's see, I got biceps to spare.
Oh, he's definitely down for pride.
I was about to say pride and possibly envy with the Beast.
Yeah. Ooh. What kind of topics are we allowing to talk about? It just occurred to me. The line, "No one says no to Gaston."
Okay.
He may have done stuff with other girls before and not always consensual.
Yeah.
That occurs to me.
That could also be happening, and I know we said we're not mentioning the stage version, but there is a line in the stage version, you know, with the Bimbettes, the 3 blonde women, heavily implying that if he marries Belle, he is not going to be faithful.
We'll still have our little rondes vows, won't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was about to joke that you're in France and you can't say a French word. I was about to say that joke has so many layers to it. But yes, okay, so definitely the emotional pain as well, and possibly that, which is a little dicey, but we're not going to delve into what exactly we're saying. But I know we're not going to bring up live action, but heavily implied he committed many war crimes when he was a general, because remember LeFou's little line, "Go to your happy place, you're on the battlefield, there's blood everywhere."
There's blood. And think of the village and all the widows.
Yeah, so I know we're not including the live action one, I just thought I'd mention that. Because it's a good insight into his character, even though, like, I don't like the live action movie.
Okay, I will give them credit. As much as I don't like Beauty and the Beast, I think Gaston and LeFou were handled really well.
I was about to say,
correctly.
They were written
They're different
well
from
enough.
the original, but they have their own unique take that actually works, and the actors put in a good performance.
That is true. Again, Gaston wasn't beefy enough for that, man. You need to be jacked to be Gaston.
Yeah, but Luke Evans is a really good actor.
He's a good actor.
He pulls it off.
I'll give it. Yeah, well, what else was it? Somebody actually did a comparison between the 2 scenes where he's talking to Belle. Where in the live-action movie...
that one was stupid.
I was about to say,
I'll give them that.
In the live-action movie, he essentially threatens her into marrying him. And in the cartoon, it's more like... Yeah, I was about to say he blackmails her later, but in the opening scene of the cartoon, their first real interaction, you know, he kicks off the boots, puts it up on the table. It's just more that he's a pompous jerk.
He just assumes
she'll say yes. Yeah.
He thinks she's playing hard to get.
Yes. And it's more like out of obliviousness and just ego and pride that he's... and instead, he is a much more darker character in the live-action movie. I was about to say, if it were him, I'd say, yeah, I was about to say, the one in the live-action movie definitely gets burned to death, given all the heavily implied war crimes he's committed.
But the original Gaston, he doesn't really cause that much carnage.
He probably would feel the pain of the Beast, who was mortally wounded.
Oh, right, he did shoot him twice.
He did mortally wound the Beast. So
and stabbed him.
I was about to say, he did technically die. So he might have felt the murder.
But I don't really know if that's enough to kill him, especially since he's the size of a barge.
That is true. Also, when would Ghost Rider pluck him up? Because immediately after essentially killing the Beast, he gets pushed off a ledge and falls to his death. So... I was about to say, what is this going to be like? Is it going to be like he has a portal gun and he's pew pew, and he's just got like a census bureau of all the Disney villains?
Oh, that would be hilarious.
And he's just like got the hell portals, and he's just like, okay, what's your name? Pete. Okay, Pete the cat, Pete the bear, Pete the dog. Okay,
oh my god, that would be hilarious. This is now that Disney owns Marvel, we can do this spin-off. It's like the weird sequel to Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe that nobody asked for.
Ghost Rider kills the Disney Universe. Yes! Just not even a full movie, just a series of shorts. Just like hire us, Disney. We're giving you gold here.
What? Okay, Maleficent, mistress of all evil. Just pull up my glasses here that I assume he has when he's reading his list.
Okay. Believe it or not a whole lot. You'd think somebody with the name of Mistress of All Evil would probably have done more horrible things. But
you're going to be in mild discomfort for the next 5 minutes, and then you can go. Have fun. Have a nice day, man.
I mean, the hellfire will burn you for a little bit, but then you can go. Like, singe your arm barely, you feel a prick on your finger, and, like, maybe some thorny bits on your body, and then you can go back and being... Oh, impaled by a sword. While in dragon form. I'm gonna see you later anyway.
And he looks next on his list. Chernabog. Okay, who is that? And he looks up. Chernabog is huge next to him.
You have a nice day, sir.
Okay, there's nothing technically I can do to you, but you've definitely done stuff, so I'm definitely coming after you later. And I'm gonna fight you, but I can't technically do anything to you with this.
Yeah, I got a 5 o'clock appointment I need to keep, so I got a bunch of these Disney villains I'm going through. I got an appointment to keep.
Okay,
I can't really have a Galactus-style final battle with you yet.
Okay, who do we have next? Ratigan. He's a tiny rat. What could he have possibly...
Oh my lord! Wow! Okay, and he, like, has multiple pages? Wow! Okay! Yikes!
And then all the other Disney villains are looking at him, not really believing it. They're like, huh?
Yeah, they're, like looking around, and they're just pointing, like, him? Okay, we went off the rails. Who are we talking about now?
We were talking about Gaston, so I think the next one is Jafar?
Jafar?
Well, we said we're not talking about that.
Yeah, we said we would talk about the musical. Okay, but, yes, okay. So, I don't know if we can include... I think we can include the series, because I think the cartoon is part of the movie canon.
I've never seen the show. So
I haven't either, but I've seen some episodes. Essentially, I was about to say, like, okay, so definitely attempted murder. A few cases of attempted murder, because Aladdin almost froze to death.
And almost drowned, too.
And almost drowned. Yep, so he got that. Pride, ego, the torture he put... Oh, he almost suffocated Jasmine in the sand.
Oh, yeah, and then also the torture of the Sultan, I guess.
Oh, the torture of the Sultan.
Could we count the hypnosis? Could we...
I was about to say, the hypnosis probably would give him migraine. Maybe equate that to, like, migraines.
Yeah, that's fair. Can we count the thief from the beginning of the film, or is that the Tiger Head Cave's fault?
That'll be the Tiger Cave. I mean, he did make the thief go there, but I'd say that wasn't entirely in his hands. Maybe, like, I don't know, he feels, a nick on his elbow from, like, the tiger stone teeth. Like, ow, that really hurt. So we're gonna give him partial responsibility for that one.
Okay. So, like, I don't know. I don't know if that'd be enough to kill him or destroy his soul or anything. He feels... he feels a lot of pain for a few minutes, but because he never technically killed anyone.
Let's see. I'm trying to think if he did anything in this show, or Return of Jafar or whatever. I can't really think of anything that he did. He did. Oh no! Return of Jafar. They do specifically say that Genie's magic can't kill anybody. Actually, they said in the first movie too.
Oh.
But because remember, Iago gets incredibly injured in a fight with Jafar, and then he just he sputters and coughs and says, "Genie's magic can't kill anyone." So I guess he would also feel the injury he sustained to Iago, but not.
Oh, and he probably did do a lot of stuff to Genie during that scene. I remember the musical number. Mm-hmm. He's like, "Oh, don't worry, genies can't kill anyone." And when Jafar blasted,
"You're only second rate."
But you'd be surprised what you can live through.
Yes, exactly. So he definitely tortured the genie. So that's the torture and like mind-bending torture that definitely a normal human would not survive. Although he's technically a genie, so I don't know if that would kill him.
Well, he does. He dies at the end of the second film, right?
Yeah, he does die at the end of the second film.
Oh wait, there is the one episode I did see, the Hercules crossover.
Oh yeah, he's a ghost. His soul is in Hades' domain.
So he does have a soul.
He does have a soul, even as a genie. Okay. By the way, we'll get to him later.
I do like I think my favorite scene in that whole thing is when Jafar is planning stuff out with Hades and he does the maniacal laugh, and Hades just asks him, "What's with the laugh?" "Well, it punctuates my evil." I think that's a funny line.
Yeah, I know, and he's just like, no, I don't do that. I run a business here. Actually, I do like you say, "Hey, Jafar, boo boy, yeah, focused on killing one little kid. Well, I am trying to rule the cosmos, huh? We gotta keep the big picture in mind." Oh, we're not to him yet. We got a few left before we get to him, though. And next, another evil. Well, I guess a bad cat in general. Bad kitty.
I guess Shere Khan wasn't on this list.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Yeah, I don't. Well, he's a predator of the jungle.
I was about to say he's
doing his thing.
More of an aristocratic predator. Again, that is. I mean, if you put a small child in front of a tiger, it's not going to end well. So
yeah,
and that's just what the tiger does. So
presumably he's done it before because he's got a reputation. Shere Khan will kill the boy.
Indeed, he has eaten people before. Okay, maybe that burns him. I don't know.
Okay, but anyways.
Okay, Shere Khan bonus. Burn. They're great. Okay, Scar. He's a little more evil than Shere Khan, I'd say. Given the fact that Shere Khan kind of does it out of nature, because, he needs to eat and all. Mm-hmm. But, no, he just straight up kills for fun. Scar straight up kills for fun. So, definitely, he is going to feel how Mufasa died.
He's going to feel how Mufasa died by the trampling, and he's going to feel all the starvation and destruction of nature that he caused.
Oh, definitely, the famine, the fire. Oh, yeah, the fire. I'm assuming some people got burned in that fire. Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely Simba, because you remember he shoots the fire in his eyes. Oh yeah, he's gonna feel the burn. He's gonna feel. I'm assuming that again, he's gonna be like plucked as he falls right before the hyenas eat him, and he just pops him right back. But is the sin enough to burn his soul before this? I was about to say he caused a lot of destruction and a lot of hunger and pain, and definitely he is going to feel that trampling, which killed a beefier lion, as we recall. So that might actually kill him.
Yeah. I don't know if we're gonna have like a chart thing. It'll be a little easier to edit it if we don't, I guess, but we'll have a chart at the very end of like. No, we don't even need the chart like we did with the Mjolnir episode. We can just put all their pictures up and then put a text box over them, like this person's dead, this person's fine, this person's mildly inconvenienced.
And Chernabog gets nothing at all.
Yeah.
Get like an N-A under Chernabog.
Wouldn't it be funny if when Ghost Rider is hunting all the other people, Chernabog feels a little bit left out?
He's just like,
all around me
are familiar faces, worn out. And he's just like, he's doing the same thing where he's torturing the souls, but he's just like sad. He's like, I get no joy from this anymore.
Pete sitting in the corner. What? I'm not evil enough for you?
Well, I mean, I was mildly discomforted and thought I was gonna joke earlier, but then I'm fine.
Kill me! Kill me, angel of death! I want to be mutilated and have my soul destroyed.
I'm just left out.
That would probably be Doofenshmirtz too, actually. The thing about, what? I'm not evil
Oh yeah, I was
enough?
about to say, Doofenshmirtz probably are just like, you have mildly inconvenienced a single platypus.
This is going to become an emotionally scarring backstory too!
The fact that he wasn't good enough to get his soul destroyed by a flaming skeleton.
Penny the platypus, behold, the flaming skeleton in it all!
I will immediately send this to a flaming skeleton, and it will just make him really sad and depressed. Like, it literally is just essentially a depression bomb. It just makes Ghost Rider depressed. It just makes his day ruined. Governor Ratcliffe, okay.
Great transition.
I was about to say, that's an interesting choice.
I didn't choose him. This is kind of under protest, but
Fair enough.
The original list we based this on was the list of every villain who was in a Disney princess movie.
I was about to say, greed, definitely, and I guess the emotional pain of racism. He's not a very strong villain.
He isn't. See how I glitter. Well, he did try to kill John in the second movie.
That is true, he did try to kill John in the second movie.
He's mostly a schemer and a manipulator. He doesn't really get his hands dirty, so I don't really know how much pain he'd feel.
That's true.
How many bodies has he actually dropped?
I don't think he's dropped that many, to be honest. I haven't seen the sequel in forever, and I actually have seen the original before, more recently than I saw the sequel, so I have no idea. Well, he might just feel some mild discomfort for the greed and the attempted murder of a few people. Oh, and the racism, the emotional pain of the racism.
And he's totally fine with that, because he's cowardly.
Yep.
He's like, his knees are shaking, but then after it's done. That's it?
That's it?
I can go?
Oh, wow, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Devil. Goodbye.
Okay, now for somebody who isn't going to survive this.
Oh yes, I just realized who's next on the list.
Yep, somebody who's definitely not going to survive.
The man who longed to purge the world of vice and sin.
And he saw corruption everywhere but within.
Yep.
Claude Frollo himself, the biggest, baddest Disney villain of them all.
The first 5 minutes with him, he murders a woman and tries to drown her baby. That alone is gonna make him burn.
Yeah, no. And we're just going to completely ignore, the genocide he commits through the entire movie.
Oh, and also the torture of the captain of the guard.
Oh, yeah, because, he literally says, oh, yes, give spaces between the lashes. Give the wounds time to heal a bit. Yeah, no, he is going to feel that. I know he didn't do it himself, but we're going to make an exception for this one. He is... Yeah, I was about to say, the genocide, the burning of Paris, probably not even just genocide, like, probably innocent civilians died in that blaze, too.
So yeah, this guy, we already knew this guy was terrible.
Yeah, would we count the smoke inhalation that Esmeralda suffered from as well?
Oh, definitely.
I definitely count from that. That's
Well, she passed out from that,
I was about to say, that's directly responsible for him, so... Oh, but he better get that last, too. He's got to feel everything before he goes down.
You wouldn't even need to, portal him out of the scenario. Just have him as he's falling and the gargoyle turns into the devil. Instead, it turns into Ghost Rider.
Oh, yeah, Ghost Rider just does it immediately. His head becomes the statue. He gets it all done as he's falling. That is perfect.
And I feel like he might be the one to protest most out of the other... Because, all the other Disney villains are like... Oh, yeah, I'm out murdering people. This is just how I am.
That's true. He believes that he's righteous in his actions. However, I'm not saying this is not a Punisher situation.
Exactly.
Because in some level, he knows he's wrong.
And that's the whole point of his villain song, too. He's confessing to his... Well, not even confessing. He's just like, Maria, I am pure, so why do I feel this way? It's the witch's fault. We're going to kill her.
Exactly. He knows it's wrong on some level. So that's why the Punisher defense is not going to work on him.
And to push this even further, I feel like as soon as he hears that this is the angel of death coming after him, he's going to start panicking. Once he sees some of the stuff that the other Disney villains are burning for, assuming that we're seeing them all together.
Yeah, maybe it's like a shared time thing, where it's like...
Yeah, they all get portaled in, and Ghost Rider's like, okay, I'm here to punish you all for your sins,
none of them
file in line.
So it's like, their souls have, I guess, temporarily left their bodies, and they're, still frozen in time from whatever moment that they are.
Yeah. Someone animate this, please.
I was about to say, if somebody animates this, you will be my hero. And make sure you link the video to us so we can see it. Because I definitely want to see this video.
I'll definitely try to share it on my channel.
I was about to say, yeah, no, Claude Frollo is going to get obliterated by this. And on to somebody else who burns.
Kind of. We'll have to discuss it.
Well, I mean, like, his hair is literally fire.
Oh yeah. Well, that's fair. Hades.
Hades, Love of the Dead, how you doing? We dance, we kiss, we schmooze, we call him happy. How you say?
Honestly, I don't know how much he'd be affected.
That's true. He is actually a Greek god, so I don't know if Greek gods have souls. No, they don't. Because remember, when Hercules saves Megara, he becomes a god, and they can't cut his string, meaning they can't separate his soul from his body. So Greek gods do not have souls.
Ooh.
So that means, we got two people who are exempt.
Chernabog and Hades are sitting in the corner, drinking mimosas together, watching the rest of them go through the process.
I was about to say, like, yeah, Chernabog, like you work, yeah. Night on Ball Mountain, it's one classic, yeah.
Didn't Chernabog date Maleficent in... No, they both did.
I was about to say
Chernabog
both
and
of them
Hades
ended up...
dated Maleficent.
Well, I think Hades dated her. I think Chernabog just flirted her with her in dragon form.
That's fair. And she kind of liked him, too, because she...
Yeah, that's true. Oh, man, okay, I was about to say... Never mind. I was about to go into a situation that we cannot talk about on this, so we are not going to bring it up.
There was one other situation I remember with her being in a date, because apparently they just really liked the idea of Maleficent being in a romantic relationship. But there was the scene with her on a blind date with Jafar, and she just lights him on fire.
I do remember that.
That was funny.
Yeah. He's like, nope. Alright, and now, Shan Yu. Oh, this guy burns.
Yep.
The biggest stuff got real moment in all of Disney. A girl worth fighting, entire village is dead.
Also, how many men does it take to deliver a message?
One. Although he didn't kill him. So he ordered the killing. So that's going to be another by proxy, where it's not going to be as bad. But no, I'm saying he personally slaughtered most of the army, as well as the entirety of that village. He is going to feel the burning, he is going to feel the slashing, he is going to feel all of that. Yeah, I think, no, that dude has a body count. You saw the pain, like,
oh, yeah.
When you go over the hill and you see all the soldiers. I'm like, no, this dude is not going to survive his penance stare.
So that's how many 6 we got so far that'll actually burn?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, not as many as I thought, but yeah, no, he will die from this one. Oh, and I think that's we're pretty much covered with him. Shan Yu, we're pretty much covered with Shan Yu.
Yeah, pretty much.
And now on to one of my favorite villains of all time, Dr. Facilier, the Shadow Man himself, with the coolest voice ever. Keith David himself. Again, it's weird. I didn't think Goliath could sing, but apparently Goliath can sing. Because that song is probably one of the best Disney villain songs ever.
True. It occurs to me, how many people do we actually see Dr. Facilier kill?
That is a fair...
We know he was going to kill the mayor, but the only thing we see him do with his deals up until he attacked the prince was he makes the deal with the guy to make his hair longer, and then it covers his entire face.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming most of his deals were like that, otherwise people might go to arrest him or something.
I guess it would be like suffering, but
yeah.
I mean, he's got a bunch of shrunken heads. I'm presuming that...
Wait, weren't they part of the magic deal? Like they were spirits or something?
Oh, that's right. Right. They're his friends on the other side. I thought, no, that is a fair point. Yeah, I don't think he killed too many people, to be honest. I mean, the only reason he was dragged to the underworld at the end of the movie is because his amulet was broken, so technically he broke the pact with his friends.
You know, the thought occurs to me that maybe Ghost Rider would have some innate knowledge that this is going to happen, so he doesn't use the penance stare on him himself. Like, you know what? Whatever they have planned is probably worse than whatever hell would do to you. So this is more interesting.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
While they're doing that, they're dragging him away. Ghost Rider interrupts with an epic guitar solo.
Oh, yeah,
He's from the 90s.
Yes, he pulls out like the two-handled flaming ribcage guitar and he just starts shredding.
And the friends on the other side, maybe one of them approaches him. You seem kind of cool. Can we do business in the future?
I was about to say, yeah. Ghost Rider is just like, give me your business card. We can do lunch later. There's a nice grotto in the 8th circle.
Actually, wait. They're like actual like demons that want to torment all the souls in New Orleans. So maybe he'd be like, coming for you eventually.
Oh, that is true. He might go after them at some point, but again, we don't know too much about them, so they're not, like, for the purposes of this video, we're not really,
Yeah.
Yes. Mother Gothel!
She killed Flynn. She'll have the feeling of being stabbed.
I was about to say, he does die. That is canonical. He is dead. I guess the years of emotional abuse?
Yeah, she's a gaslighter.
Yeah, she's a gaslighter. I don't know, I was about to say the emotional disparity of the parents, because she kidnapped the child?
Yeah.
I was about to say, because I know emotional stuff actually counts, so I don't know. She probably won't die from it, though.
I'd say she wouldn't get hurt by the... I was gonna bring up the thing where she bashes the brothers over the head, but, like, they were criminals, and she got them arrested.
I was about to say, yeah, that might be,
yeah,
I was about to say, that might be Punisher logic.
Yeah.
Punisher logic definitely doesn't work on Frollo, because he killed innocent civilians.
Yeah.
And Punisher has only killed bad guys. Alright, yeah, definitely. So, sorry to go back to Frollo, but I just had that thought. So, yeah, I'd say mild discomfort and actually probably pretty serious pain from the stab.
Mm-hmm.
But not deadly. And now, the final...
Well, it doesn't have to be final. We can talk about a couple other people who weren't on the list if we want to.
Okay, honorable mentions?
Yeah, I guess.
Alright, honorable mention section!
Okay, last villain we have on our list here, Tamatoa.
He hasn't always been this clam. He was a drab little crab once.
And now he knows he can be happy as a clam.
Because he's beautiful, baby. Alright, so... How evil really is he other than cannibalizing his grandmother?
Well, we know he was going to eat Maui.
That's true. He was going to eat him, but
which
like...
is kind of
he
a little bit justified.
I was about to say, he didn't end up doing it, so...
Well, also, Maui cut off his leg, so
that
not
is
like Maui
true.
wouldn't deserve it.
That is true, because it is a slight against him, but there is such a thing as overkill, I guess, that the pen and stare recognizes that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean... Well, no, he technically doesn't steal all the gold, he just finds it on the bottom of the sea.
He's a scavenger.
Yeah. And he just eats the fish for food. So... I mean, other than cannibalizing his grandmother, I think that's pretty much it. He probably would feel that.
Oh, definitely. So, I guess he's another one who's in the pains, but not dead.
Yes. Alright, let's see if we have any honorable mentions.
Well, we already mentioned Doofenshmirtz.
We already mentioned Doofenshmirtz. I'm trying to think of any that, that aren't coming to me. I guess maybe the Sheriff of Nottingham from Robin Hood?
Him and Prince John.
Prince John, too. Prince John's pretty ineffectual, but, like...
Kind of. Well, he would be guilty of wrath, greed...
True.
And because the sheriff is following his orders, you could... Well, we didn't do that for Ratcliffe either, but, like, I guess you could argue all the people who are arrested and starved and humiliated could be him?
Possibly, but, Sheriff of Nottingham takes
he's a
pleasure in what he does. Because remember, the guy hid, he had a broken leg. He really did have a broken leg, and he hid his coins in that. And he slams his cast against the wall to get the coins out. I'm like, no, this dude is evil. So, he enjoys being evil. So I think that would... I probably wouldn't kill him, but it probably would definitely cause him pain.
Definitely.
Maybe not great pain, but pain. Especially in the leg. Especially that very scene is what clinches it for me.
If we are going off of biblical logic, he did take a lot of pleasure in being able to hang the friar.
Oh,
he probably has a thing against the church.
That is true. He does have a slight against God, and since he is Zarathos is a angel of retribution, he definitely would not be happy about that.
Again, all the people we didn't really expect to be hurt are getting the worst of it.
I know, it's crazy. Like, you would think that the big boys, but, like, of course, Chernabog is essentially the devil in everything but name. So yeah, the penance stare wouldn't work on him. And Hades doesn't have a soul because he's a Greek god.
Yeah, and also the other big names like Gaston, Jafar, they didn't really kill that many people.
Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, they're guilty of, like, pride and vanity and such, but,
yeah, they
like...
just feel like the general burning that anybody off the street could also feel.
Yeah. So not really anything too horrific for most of them, which is odd. Can you think of any other Disney things we might have not mentioned?
Bill Cipher? I don't know if he has a soul, though.
Yeah, I don't know if he does either.
He came from the second dimension.
He comes from the second dimension. He's didn't they say he's essentially an elder god?
Kind of.
So if he is a god, and if we go by Greek god logic...
But if he does have a soul, dear Lord, he is going to suffer.
I was about to say, like, I guess this is like an asterisk one. Like, depending on if he has a soul, he is going to burn. And it is going to be bad.
Out of curiosity, did you ever hear the axolotl rhyme?
Yes. I did watch a video on that. That's very interesting. I was about
saw his own dimension burn, blamed the arson for the fire.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah, he killed his entire dimension. So...
Trillions of lives.
Yeah, he's not surviving that. If he has a soul.
I guess if we're talking about Disney Channel villains, I guess this is more your turf than mine, because I didn't watch the show growing up. I've just seen a couple episodes on Disney Plus, but how do you think the penance stare would affect... I'm drawing a blank on his name now. Give me a second.
The one from Gargoyles?
No.
What show?
I want to be able to come up with this myself and prove that my brain is not flux.
Okay.
This is really annoying me now. Why can I not think of this? Okay, this is just frustrating now.
Okay, just tell me the show.
DuckTales. Or not Duck. Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck. Which one? Negaduck?
Negaduck.
Okay.
There we go. Now I feel like an idiot.
I was about to say, the original Negaduck.
Conquered his planet, right?
Yes, he conquered his home planet. Home dimension, really. And, I don't know if it's his entire home planet or just his home St. Crenard he is from another dimension where moralities are switched.
Right.
Although not entirely, because all the villains are terrified of him. Oh, wait, no, that would work. Never mind. What? Yeah, never mind. I was just... Because the villains were the ones forming the resistance group. But, Darkwing is... Negaduck is just... He is... Yeah, I know. He's, definitely implied that he killed a whole bunch of people. And, he is just... He literally has, I forget what it was, there was a hilarious gag where he's impersonating Darkwing, and he literally goes into a movie theater, and it plays some cutesy Disney cartoon about bunnies, and he's screaming at the screen, "Where's all the violence?" And then the characters on the screen are literally yelling at him, "This is a family picture, Buster!" And he's just like, "Oh, I got a Buster for you!" And he pulls out, like, these two giant things, and he starts blowing, and somehow it affects the movie world on the projector.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
I don't know how it works, but he's just blasting away at these rabbits on the screen, and it's actually affecting the movie world.
You know, the one episode I do remember, and this isn't technically Negaduck, but Ghost Rider would probably have a field day with Dark Warrior Duck.
Oh, Dark Warrior Duck? Yeah, no, he is, like, confirmed killed criminals for
DW
something as slightly, like, even for jaywalking.
DW had me fired because I thought we should put criminals in the electric chair after we arrest them.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely implied he killed a bunch of people, and, like, you've seen how extreme he is against jaywalking, so probably they didn't do anything that bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I do love the character thing, is that he only got this bad because he thought his daughter was dead. Which is very heavy for a slapstick-heavy show like Darkwing Duck.
True. I feel like we're going to revisit Darkwing a bit if we ever actually do the Hero Killer Stain episode of the podcast.
I will watch his episodes eventually.
I didn't say anything.
I know you didn't, but you thought it.
Oh, so now we're doing thought crimes now, Nick?
Oh no, it is 1984.
And all but name, brother.
Okay.
Big brother.
To be honest, I think that's a good a spot as any to finish this off.
Yeah, I don't know. We've been talking. I don't know how much we're gonna edit down, but we've been talking for an hour and a half.
Wow. I mean, is that really out of the norm for us?
Not really. The last one we did went over the 2-hour mark.
Yeah. This was a fun episode. I'm glad we got to do this.
If this gets well, I don't want to say if it's popularity because we're going to do it anyway. Probably. We might do a sequel covering the Pixar villains.
Oh yeah, Pixar, and maybe since Star Wars is included in Disney now, maybe do a Star Wars villains, see how they fare.
Darth Vader would be a fascinating topic.
I was about to say, a lot of dead children.
Palpatine's dead. We know that.
Oh, yeah, Palpatine. He's not surviving. Like probably Ghost Rider takes not even like a passing glance, and he's like, oh yeah, no, you are gone, buddy.
Probably also Tarkin because he blew up Alderaan.
Oh yeah, Alderaan. The
billions of
Alderaan.
Tarkin is dead because he feels the weight of billions of people dying at the same time.
1,000 voices cried out in fear and suddenly silenced.
And they were all talking. He is in hell now.
Alright, well, it has been a pleasure as always, my friend.
And apologies that we have the fan running, but 87 degrees!
Yeah, it's pretty hot in here. Not just because of the hellfire.
Hellfire!
Dark fire! Now,
and subscribe now.
Oh, okay. Wait.
I don't know.
Okay, never mind. I was about to say. I thought we were doing the. Okay, never mind. Okay,
I mean, we can do the thing if you
No.
want. Now, Gypsy.
It's your turn. Choose me or your pyre. Be mine or you will burn. I just had to get to the final note. I had to get the high note. That's all I needed.
All right.
All right. Nice talking to you, my brother. I will see you next time. I will see all of you next time.